Ooh, what is up, Cheezes and Cheezettes? Welcome to Cheeze-Cast, I guess. Uh, yeah, it's just moi this week. Welcome to Cheeze-Cast, Cheeze-Cast. Cheeze-Cast, Cheeze-Cast is best cast, I guess, or Beast-Cast, well, whatever. So this time, it's gonna be a lot shorter of a podcast because it's just myself. And it's also going to be mainly about art, and that's basically all I can talk about for an extended amount of time by myself. So yeah, I guess I can talk. First, I want to talk about is my new tablet, which is right here. It's very nice. I know, I love it. It's the best thing since anything I've ever gotten ever. It is great. It's got a bunch of like hotkeys, like little buttons right here. You can, there's like a bunch of hotkeys. They're already preset to something. Each of them corresponding to for something in, like, to help with art, like illustration. But you can also set them to custom things. So you can set it to like redo or save or something like that. But even cooler than that is across here. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's like a 1 through 16 little tabs you can push on with your pen, and each of those can be a hotkey. You can set it to a hotkey like Control-Alt-Delete if you wanted to, or Alt-Tab. But even cooler than that is that you can set each one of these little tabs on the top to open a program or execute some kind of program or open an image or even a video or music. Like, it can open files for you, like just by tapping it with your pen. It's really cool, and I don't know why I would use that, but it's a neat feature, I think. So I thought I'd share that with you. Like I said, I've been very much enjoying it, which is why I haven't been streaming at all. So yeah. Get onto the podcast. So the first thing I want to talk about is a topic that gets mentioned over and over again. Tom, if you could please let the gentleman know, Yanelix, I hope I'm not butchering your name. Let him know the details about why I can't talk to chat, please. Thank you very much, my friend. But yeah. So a topic that comes up in a lot of art discussions, and something that a lot of people ask, people who are their fans of art, like a lot of people have asked artists such as or animators such as Egoraptor, a lot of this question a lot of times is, how do I get into it? And I still find it so not really ridiculous, but surprising, I think is a better word, every time I hear this question, because it's such a simple answer. It's not convoluted, it's not rocket science, it's not like you don't have to do anything elaborate in order to get an animation or art of any kind. The literal gist of it is you just gotta do it. You just, as stupid as that might sound, you just gotta do it. Worrying about whether or not you're good enough, if your art's good enough, isn't going to help you. It's not going to make your art better. And if you constantly worry about that, then you're never going to get better. But doing it is basically the only way to, if you're not animating, you're not going to learn how to animate, or get a gist of how to animate, or if you don't consistently draw or even animate, you're not going to be able to form a style. You're not going to be able to form your own style for yourself. But you just got to do it. That's pretty much it. You just got to do it. Another thing that probably puts people off is they look at art and animation of really good animators and really good illustrators, and they're like, my god, that's so good, I want to do that. Then when they try to do it, they don't do as good, or they look at their art that they're working on and compare it to the finished product. So what I'm trying to get at is, this person spent probably years developing their craft and getting better in order to get as good as they are today. And they spent hours on that one piece of art in order to make it exactly how they wanted to make it. Like, in order to make it look exactly how they wanted it to look. So don't compare your work in progress to someone's finished piece of art, because the art is like one of those things that you can't focus too much on the like, you can't worry too much about the rough stuff, and you can't, like, it's a lot of trial and error. Like, you're gonna try a lot of things, and a lot of things are gonna fail, and then a lot of things are gonna, work. You're gonna be like, okay, that looks good. It's a lot of trial and error, a lot of drawing, undoing that, drawing, undoing, drawing, undoing, drawing, undoing, in order to get perfect. And then it also takes a lot of erasing in order to get the lines and the shadows and all the different things exactly how you want it. And yeah. It's just a lot of trial and error, and you just got to do it. Like, the more you do it, and the more errors you have, the less you will have in the future. I mean, no one's gonna go into an art project and not have a single, no one does it perfectly, without having to undo things or redo things in art. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't. Wow, I'm actually already halfway through my topic list, and I'm only 7 minutes in. So yeah, this is going to be a really short podcast. So I guess I could talk about learning and learning art. Like I said, just doing it is one way. There's the best way to learn. But something that people feel pressured to do is go to school, go to college. Which, if you want to go to college, if you have the ability to go to college, by all means, go for it. More power to you. I want to go to college, but it's not required, is what I want to say. People who hire you for your art, at least in freelance type of work, they're not going to look at your degree as much as they're going to look at your art. You can have a bachelor's degree in animation, and then your animation be shitty, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to hire you to animate for them. The same thing goes for illustration. If you want to do some art for someone, and they see you have a bachelor's degree, they'll be like, alright, that's cool. This person must be good. They look at your art, and your art's either not what they wanted for their project, not the right style for them, or if it's not as good as they want it to be, it's not the standards that they have for the project, then they're not going to hire you. It's not required, is what I'm trying to say, in freelance. I don't know how it would be for working for a company. I'm sure that a lot of companies have certain requirements, like a certain degree or certain years of experience in order to be able to work for them. But I don't know. It's not required to make a living off of art. You don't need to have a bachelor's degree or any kind of college experience. It definitely helps. If you, it's more so help for you than it is for I don't know, getting a job. It's more so help for improving, because you'll learn things that you probably wouldn't have learned on your own. And you'll have experiences that you wouldn't have had it if you hadn't gone to college. So, yeah. It's not required, but it will help, I imagine. Unless you're just completely incapable of learning, from teachers and other people in your class. Unless you're completely incapable of learning, then it'll help your art, and it'll help you improve. So, yeah. And there goes on to my last topic. It's a little interesting. I think it's interesting because not many people know this, unless you do freelance animation, is the pricing that kind of goes into it. I'm not gonna go into how to make an animation. I actually want to make a tutorial on that for the channel, but I would like to go into the pricing because it's kind of interesting. So pricing in animation is a lot different than or pretty different to pricing on illustration. A lot of the times people who do illustrations do a set price. Wouldn't recommend it. Not easy to make a living off of that, but people who aren't as well known as some artists like to just have a set price, like $25. Like for example, I think that after I spend a little bit more time improving my my style that I'm working on, this anime-like style that I'm working on, once I'm comfortable with it, for example, the pricing I'm going to put on my illustrations will probably be like $5 per Twitch emote if people want a Twitch emote. For a full-on illustration, that means full character, background, and everything. It's going to be like, starting price is going to be like $25, I think, and then it'll go up as more characters are added to the illustration. But for something as simple as like a bust, it'd probably be like $10, $15 or something like that. But yeah, that's one way to price it. Another way to price it, and some people actually do this for animation as well, is you price how much hours like that would get put into a project, which will probably get you a lot more money, in all honesty. It helps if you're more established than like to be able to have that pricing. But like being like how much hours you are getting paid hourly for how many hours you put into the animation or the illustration. So if my hourly rate is for example $15 an hour, which is actually really low, and I put like 6 hours into an illustration, it'll end up being like, right now I can do math, $90, I think. Yeah, $90. It'd be like $90 for that one piece of illustration, and the same goes for animation, except animation takes a lot longer to do. But a lot of animators, this is the kind of thing I wanted to get to, was a lot of animators actually price it per frame of animation that they do, which is actually really interesting, and it makes sense. And I won't explain why it makes sense. So let's go back to the same example. Let's say my wage per frame of animation is $15, which is actually still really low for animators. It's $15 per frame of animation, and I animate in 30 frames per second. If I animate in 30 frames per second, it's $15 an hour, or $15 per frame, and I animate a 30-second animation. That's 90 frames. Wait, it's 900 frames, I think. Yeah, it's 900 frames, and oh god, more math. It's dang it, I almost had it there. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this right here. So 900 times 15. It's quite a lot. This is mainly a lot, I think, because of the fact that, wait, did I do the math right in this? 0. Okay. 0, okay. Yeah, this is actually, I think this is really high priced because of the fact that it's 30 frames per second. Not many people animate that. Most people animate 24. But that comes out to be, okay, I really gotta, like, that is true. Like, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so 30 frames per second, $15 per frame of animation, and 30-second long animation. If you get paid per frame, that would be $13,500. That's a lot of money. Now, you might be thinking, Jesus Christ, why the fuck would anyone pay that, and why, like, that's ridiculous. Now, first off, animating 30 frames per second is a little ridiculous. So it'd probably be lower because most people animate in 24. But it's not ridiculous because of the fact that animation takes so long. And if you want to get it done in a timely manner, you're probably only going to be working on one client's animation at a time, maybe two, depending on how long you work on it every day. But you don't know when you're going to get work again because animation is not very highly requested, especially in freelance. And you don't know when you're going to get work again. So the reason why animators get paid such a convoluted amount per animation is because of that fact that they don't know when they're going to get work again, and they also they if you do only animation for a living, then that just makes it even more dire that you get a huge chunk of money per animation. But yeah, that's just an interesting factoid, I guess I wanted to drop on you guys. Fucking 16-minute podcast. This is crazy. This is like the shortest. This is the shortest one we've ever done. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cheeze-Cast / Steve-Cast. Hopefully we'll be back at it, back to the normal podcast next week. If you like this kind of art stuff, check out our Twitch page because I'm going to start doing a lot more art stuff and a lot more animation stuff, and if you have any questions, that's like the best place to ask them, is on that stream or on Twitter. But yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next stream podcast. Peace.